Okay, picture this. They're living together, maybe sharing meals, same roof, same bed even. But it feels like you're just operating on totally separate planets sometimes. You see each other passing in the hallway, but then the day ends and you realize, wow, we haven't had like one real conversation. It's that weird feeling, isn't it? Like two ships passing the night. And meanwhile, these little unspoken things start to build up and build up until suddenly, boom, there's this massive argument. And you're both just thinking, how on earth did we get here? Huh. That silent drift. Yeah, where you stop talking, start assuming. That's what people call roommate syndrome, right? But what if just a few simple, regular things could stop that drift? Or even, make that connection deeper, build real resilience. So today, that's what this deep dive is all about. We're going to unpack the power of checking in regularly, both those small, everyday moments and the bigger, more intentional chats, how they can really transform a relationship from just existing to actually thriving.
Yeah, that's such a crucial point because I think a lot of couples, maybe without realizing it, are aiming for perfection, when really the goal should be resilience. Our sources are pretty clear on this. Resilience is it's that ability to bounce back, right? From stress, from problems, from all the stuff life inevitably throws at you. Because ups and downs, they're going to happen. Life gets messy. The real danger isn't the rough patch itself. It's when there's no emotional connection left. That's when partners drift apart. Sometimes so far apart, they start looking for that connection somewhere else. That feeling of being starved for connection. It's powerful. Relationships don't just run themselves. They need both people showing up consistently, honestly, and humbly. Every day.
You said something really important there, consistent emotional connection. Makes me wonder, okay, how does that connection actually build resilience? Like down at the nuts and bolts level, is there science behind it, even in tiny interactions?
Oh, absolutely. It's fascinating how our brains are actually wired for this stuff. We're talking about things researchers call micro interactions or sometimes micro moments. These are just brief, genuine exchanges, a quick smile that reaches the eyes, a shared glance, a hand on the arm for a second, a warm hello. Yeah. And the amazing thing is these aren't just polite gestures. They actually trigger chemicals in your brain, specifically oxytocin.
Oxytocin, the bonding hormone.
Exactly, the bonding hormone.
Right.
And when that gets released, it literally starts rewiring your neural pathways. It builds trust. It makes your brain associate that person with good feelings. It's biological.
Wow, so it's not just like a nice feeling, it's actually changing your brain chemistry.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
It really is. Think about it like this. Research shows these tiny, tiny gestures, they light up the same reward centers in your brain as like huge dramatic moments do. So each one of these little micro interactions is like putting a tiny deposit into your relationship's emotional bank account. And over time, all those little deposits add up. They build this massive wealth of connection, like an authentic smile, the kind that uses your eyes, that releases dopamine, good feelings for both people, or just a simple touch, maybe on the arm or shoulder for like 3 seconds, instant oxytocin release. Even just repeating a key word, someone said they call it the echo response. It signals you're really listening, activates the reward center. Using the name drop lights up parts of the brain linked to identity, makes them feel seen. And those little nods when someone's talking, the micro, yes. Huge for making someone feel validated. These aren't just random things. They're actively making it easier to connect next time. Building trust, smoothing the way.
That really changes how you think about effort in a relationship, doesn't it? It sounds so simple, but also kind of profound. Okay, so if these micro interactions are so powerful, what does this actually look like day to day? How do we make these deposits without it feeling like, another item on the to-do list?
Well, it really boils down to building simple habits, things that almost become second nature. One of the biggest ones, responding to what are called bids for attention. So when your partner says something, touches you, asks a question, even if it's just about the weather, or did you see this article? They're reaching out, making a bid for connection. There are studies, pretty famous ones actually, showing that couples who stayed married, they turned toward those bids something like 86% of the time. Compare that to couples who ended up divorcing, they only responded about 33% of the time.
Wow, 86 versus 33, that's a huge difference.
It's massive. And the goal isn't perfection, right? It's just about noticing those little moments, those bids, and trying to respond more often than not, just acknowledging them. Then you've got reunion rituals, simple stuff. When you see each other after being apart after work, even after running an errand, hug, and not just a quick pat, a real full-body hug, stomachs touching. Aim for at least 20 seconds.
20 seconds, that sounds long.
It does. But it does something chemically. It helps regulate both your nervous systems. It makes you feel safer, calmer. Couples who do this are actually less likely to argue right after being separated. It grounds you both. And similarly, you have morning and nighttime rituals. They really set the tone. If you wake up together, maybe cuddle for a few minutes, talk about the day ahead before jumping out of bed. If your schedules are totally different, a meaningful kiss goodbye, or maybe leave a quick sweet note. It bridges that gap. And at night, try to wind down together if you can, brush teeth together, whatever. But always, always end with a good night and I love you, a kiss. Consciously closing the day together.
Little bookends to the day.
Exactly. And don't forget to reach out during the day. It doesn't have to be major. A quick text, a funny meme, an article link, just something that says, hey, I'm thinking about you. Connects your separate worlds for a second, another one that gives huge returns, show appreciation, and not just a generic thanks. Our sources emphasize specific appreciation. It hits different reward centers. So find something specific each day. I really like how you made the bed this morning, or thanks for being so patient with the kids earlier. It makes the positive feelings stronger. And of course, there's physical affection. Holding hands, hugs, cuddling on the couch. These aren't just fluff. They release oxytocin. They're crucial for feeling close, emotionally and physically. Often one feeds the other, you know.
Okay, so those daily deposits, they're like the small, steady investments that really add up. I get that. But let's be real, life gets complicated.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need more than a quick hug or a text, right? It's like you said about maintenance, like changing the oil in your car. It's not a crisis, it's just upkeep. What about those bigger, dedicated conversations?
Precisely. The micro interactions are the daily fuel. Absolutely. But the formal, scheduled check-in, that's your essential maintenance, your oil change. It's setting aside regular time, maybe weekly, maybe every other week, maybe monthly, whatever works, just to sit down together, to talk honestly, really listen, and clear the air before things start to fester. It's proactive, not reactive.
That oil change analogy really clicks. Okay, so if someone listening wants to try this, what needs to be on the agenda? What makes these check-ins actually work? Give us the list.
Right. You want it to be comprehensive, kind of like looking at a relationship dashboard. Our sources suggest covering several key areas. First, emotional connection. How are you actually feeling connected or disconnected? What makes you feel seen, heard? What support do you need this week? Then, quality time. Did you get enough? What moments really felt good, felt close? What specific things would you like to do more of? Maybe that's when you plan your weekly date night and it doesn't have to be fancy. A walk, doing finances without distractions, cooking together, it all counts. Next, communication. How's it been flowing? Open, honest, anything you've been holding back. How can you both communicate even better? Intimacy and physical connection. How's that feeling for both of you? Anything you want to change, try, talk about, feeling comfortable, loved. Conflict resolution. How did you handle disagreements recently? Did things get resolved respectfully? Anything still lingering that needs addressing? Individual well-being. This is important. How are you doing individually, physically, mentally, emotionally? Anything outside the relationship affecting you or us? How can you support each other's personal goals? Self-care. It encourages self-awareness too. Future goals and plans. Are you on the same page? Short-term, long-term. Individually as a couple. Plans, trips, dreams for the next month, next year. How's the work-life balance feeling? Dreaming together is powerful. Gratitude and appreciation. What specifically did your partner do that made you feel great? What do you appreciate most right now? How can you show it more? Remember, specifics matter. And finally, growth and improvement. Where can you both grow? Individually, together. What can you work on to make the relationship even stronger?
Wow, that is thorough. It really covers all the bases, doesn't it? But like you said before, it's not just what you talk about, it's how. That feels critical here. What are the communication keys for making these check-ins actually constructive?
Absolutely. The how is everything. Number one, active listening. And that's way more than just not talking. It's full attention. Phones away, lean in, show empathy, reflect back what you hear them feeling. Wow, that sounds really frustrating, or I can see why you'd feel that way. Ask questions to understand better, like, can you tell me more about that? Don't just jump to your own point or defense. Really try to get it. Number two, use I statements. This is classic advice for a reason. It avoids blame. The structure is simple. When you do X, I feel Y because Z. So instead of you never help out, try. When I end up doing most of the chores, I feel overwhelmed because it feels like a lot to manage alone. See the difference? It's about your experience. Number three, be clear and concise. Don't beat around the bush or hint. State your needs honestly. I'd really love it if we could spend more evenings just talking like this. Well, and lastly, don't forget nonverbal communication. Your body language, your facial expression, your tone, they scream louder than words sometimes. Make sure they match what you're saying. Lean in, make eye contact, keep your tone calm. If you say, I'm open, but your arms are crossed tight, it sends a mixed message, right? be mindful of that.
Okay, makes sense. But even with all the best intentions and I statements, disagreements are still going to pop up. That's just human. So how do we handle those? How do we make arguments, well, less damaging and maybe even productive, turn them into resilience builders?
You're absolutely right. Conflict isn't the enemy. It's how you handle it. Conflicts are opportunities for growth, believe it or not. First thing, adopt an us versus the problem mindset. Seriously, remind yourselves, we're a team. We're tackling this issue together. We're not fighting each other. Second, and this statistic is wild, use a soft startup. Research shows you can predict how a 15-minute argument will end with something like 96% accuracy just based on the first 3 minutes.
96%, just in the first 3 minutes.
Yep. So starting gently is huge. Instead of launching in with, why didn't you walk the dog? You never listen. Try something like, hey, when Lola gets her walk at lunchtime, it really helps me get my stuff done. Could we make sure that happens? Softer, less accusatory. Third, learn to use effective repair attempts. These are crucial. They're anything you do or say to de-escalate tension during a conflict. Things like, okay, I'm getting scared now, or can you please say that more gently, or hold on, I need a break, I'm starting to feel flooded. Even just, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Humor can work too sometimes. And if someone does get flooded, that state where your heart rate is over 100, you can't think straight. You have to take a break. 20 minutes, maybe. Calm down physiologically before you try again. Pushing through rarely works. Fourth, your partner needs to feel heard, really heard, not just listened to while you wait to talk, but truly understood. Acknowledge their feelings even if you don't agree with their point. Validate the emotion behind the words. And finally, cope together. Stress is part of life. Managing it is a team sport. Tell your partner how you're feeling. Appreciate their support. Show empathy when they're stressed. Facing challenges together is what builds that resilience.
This all sounds so, sensible, logical, so helpful. But if it was that straightforward, wouldn't all couples be nailing this? What are the real-world pitfalls, the things that make even well-meaning couples stumble when they try to do these check-ins or build these habits?
That's a great question because, there are common traps. Our sources point to 2 big ones that can really derail things. The first is slipping into the victim mindset. When someone responds to a concern with, well, if you hadn't done X, then I wouldn't have done Y, or it's always my fault. Playing the victim basically outsources responsibility. Victims complain, but they don't take ownership of their part. And frankly, it makes problems worse. For these check-ins to work, both people have to own their stuff, take 100% responsibility for their own thoughts, feelings, actions. Leaders get respect in a relationship, victims, not so much. The second major pitfall in this one is maybe even more fundamental is a lack of trust, or maybe lack of emotional safety. For people to be truly honest and vulnerable, they have to feel safe. They have to trust that their partner isn't just looking for a fight, won't explode, won't shut down completely when tough stuff comes up. If you're scared to bring something up because you know it'll lead to yelling or stonewalling or your words getting twisted later, well, real communication just stops. It dies. It's actually each person's job to create that safety. By managing your own reactions, by being steady, by being a safe place for your partner to land. Without that trust, check-ins can easily feel like just another battlefield.
That makes a lot of sense. Victim mindset and lack of trust. Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does this mean for you listening right now? What's the big takeaway?
I think the core message is this. The strongest relationships, the ones that really last and feel good, they aren't built by avoiding problems or chasing some impossible ideal of perfection. They're built on resilience, on the ability to navigate the tough stuff. And that resilience comes from consistent, intentional connection. It comes from those daily micro interactions, those little deposits, and from those dedicated, deeper check-ins. They work together. These small, steady efforts, they really do compound, like interest in a bank account. They build up this emotional reserve that helps you weather the storms when they inevitably come.
Yeah, it's not about grand, heroic gestures necessarily. It's the consistency, isn't it? Those small shifts, that genuine smile, the quick text, the 20-second hug, setting aside time for that weekly chat, they seem small, but the impact is huge over time. It's like tending a garden, right? Yeah. Nurturing it regularly, one drop of water, one weed pulled at a time. That's how it flourishes.
Exactly. So maybe the provocative thought to leave you with is this. Instead of chasing the Miss Perfect relationship, focus on building a resilient one. Ask yourself, what's one small, intentional connection, just one, that you can make with your partner today? What little deposit can you add to that emotional bank account right now?
Maybe just pick one thing from everything we talked about, just one new practice to try. Perhaps it's that 20-second hug. Or maybe setting aside 10 minutes tonight just to listen, really listen, without interrupting. Because that consistent, intentional effort, day in, day out, that really seems to be the secret sauce for a relationship that doesn't just survive the bumps, but actually thrives because of them.